Speaking of collecting, how about getting rid of things? We want to talk about decluttering now, right?
Indeed, indeed. And we've got an expert here. We've got decluttering expert Ingrid Jansen, who's going to tell us more about decluttering. Welcome to the show, Ingrid.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. By the way, if you have a collection, there's nothing wrong with having a collection.
Oh, I'm glad you pointed that out.
I will not declutter your collection. There is sometimes the feeling that if a professional organizer comes into a person's life, the first thing I do is call a skip and throw everything out of the house. It doesn't work that way. It's finding what people use and what they love, and discard everything that is no longer useful or no longer helpful in the home.
Yeah, and some people do collect everything, and you've brought along a collection of your own of things that typically a household would just hoard.
Yes, I've brought a lot of household items. Especially interesting probably is the herbs. I declutter a lot of herbs from people's kitchens.
Declutter.
Because a lot of kitchens when people move house, they kind of pack everything up, put it in a moving van and unpack it in the next house.
Yeah.
But it's a moving house can be a great opportunity to let go of some of the stuff you no longer need or no longer use.
Yeah.
True.
And just bring stuff. And of course, moving can be expensive, so it's even more important to downsize the belongings a little bit.
I mean, I have to remember my grandfather, bless him, he's no longer with us, but I remember his whole thing used to be with us, keep everything, because you never know when it will come in handy. I mean, I remember to the extent we had a piece of wood which he wouldn't throw away because he said, you're not going to get this from the shop. You need it. So how do we beat that?
It's tricky because, of course, our parents are raised and our grandparents were raised even in the war, after the war, when the resources were very, very limited. But I think, and they still live with the concept, we have to keep everything because you never might when it might come in handy one day. But of course, these days we've got 24-hour shopping, we've got online shopping that we can do. So if you run out of something, it's very easy to get it.
Yeah.
But my whole idea is let's find the stuff that people actually love and use. For example, in a women's wardrobe, only 20% of clothes are worn. The rest is almost 80% of clothes are not worn at all.
Wow.
So let's dig through it. Let's go through it. Let's find the clothes you love, you like to wear, you look good in. And let's shift all the clothes that no longer fit, that don't make you feel good, and let somebody else enjoy them.
Well, and Ingrid, the items on the table, a lot of people will look at them and think, no, I will find a use for each of these items. So why don't you show us a typical item that we won't ever use again? And something that you should hold on to, perhaps?
Well, most of the stuff I brought today is stuff that you would definitely keep. But what I would do in my profession, I would divide the things into different categories.
Okay, so let's divide this.
Okay, do you want me to?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so these are things you definitely find in a kitchen. So I would start with kitchen, washing up liquid,
so are these the things we want to keep?
These are the things we want to keep, definitely.
So as you're decluttering, does this mean someone has typically just piled all these things together in one area?
Yes.
So we're just arranging
exactly.
our area.
A lot of people that call me need help because they don't know where stuff goes anymore. They don't know where to put it anymore because it doesn't have a home. And I help them find homes and I help them sort it through, and I suggest this is the right place to store these things, and this is where you would want to look if you need it. And that's what I do a lot in my job.
I mean, I'm glad you've put the bin bag in the kitchen area because I keep mine under the sink.
Yes.
Which means that's probably the right place there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what I do, if I may share it with you, I've got these 3 colored bin bags, and that's my system that I work with my clients. So a black bin bag is always for trash. I use the blue ones for recycling, for paper, for plastic that we find, and the green one is for the charity shop. So immediately it's very clear which bags can be discarded, which bags can stay, which bags need to go into the cart to the charity shop. Then, of course, you've got your office items, so a stapler, some pens, a notepad.
Pens are always lying around. There's always hundreds of pens in the house.
Absolutely. So these are the things you want to group together and you want to create when you have an office area, or where you've got your desk, or where you've got your laptop.
So it sounds like we're keeping everything.
In this case, I brought a lot of items that people can keep, but
maybe maybe you've got multiple staplers, then you need to start getting rid of them.
Exactly, definitely. I see a lot of times because people don't have homes for things, they misplace them, they can't find them, and they have to buy them again. And that's when you get multiples of things. And once you start to group stuff together, you find out, wow, I've got 12 wooden spoons in my kitchen. Why would I need 12 wooden spoons? Or wow, I've got 14 pairs of black boots.
Yeah.
What do I really need them all?
Yeah.
And let's get the ones out that are really worn, that are no longer in fashion, or just simply aren't, you don't like, they don't fit well. And let's get those out and make sure that the ones we do keep are in a good position.
Now, I'm just looking at the piles. We've got a kitchen pile and office pile, but there's still a lot of miscellaneous items.
Yes, I know. Yes, definitely. Yeah. I've brought some tools along as well.
Okay.
So in a smaller flat, that would probably be in a kitchen somewhere or in a utility room in a larger house.
I mean, I have to say, I'm being a man. I do like my drawer.
Yeah.
And I have to say, a lot of these items are in my man drawer, to quote Michael McIntyre, if
Perfect.
I can. Is that the right way?
Definitely.
My old batteries, my screwdriver, the measuring tape, they're all in there.
That is fine. You can find them. And
that's it, absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And as long as after every job that you do, they return to that same man drawer, you can find them.
So
and there's nothing wrong with having one.
Fantastic.
So decluttering is actually just being organised and tidy.
Yes, definitely. Decluttering is making sense of all the different items everywhere, and then once you've got it all sorted out, you organize it and you use drawers, you use cupboard, you use baskets, you use bags. There's great tips for wardrobe solutions. A great tip is to put the hangers backwards.
Yeah.
Once you've done your decluttered items, put the hangers backwards. Once you've worn it, put it in the right way. After 6 months to a year, you can see exactly what you haven't worn. That can be the next clothes to be decluttered.
Good tips, very good tips.
I'm going to make my own pile.
Of course,
because I mean, I'm thinking what I would put in my drawers, probably screwdrivers, and I don't know. I'm wide, so I can't really move here. But Ingrid, if I could ask you to help me, that's as far as I'm to go. But I'll have a pile with screwdrivers, measuring tape. This is a proper man's drawer.
Measuring tape, definitely. Some screwdrivers.
There's no old batteries here? I have to have batteries in my drawer.
No old batteries. You can recycle them, of course.
Oh, of course, yeah. Oh, that's where the green bag would come in. No, blue bag.
Not a green bag. You would probably go to a supermarket and they will have a battery box there, or maybe to the tip where you can recycle that separately. Of course, there's your shoe polish, probably also in a kitchen or in a utility room, because that's where you would look for these items.
I'll put that in my drawer as well, I think.
And you probably want to have this tape.
I'm going to have tape. I'll have some tape.
You want to have the tape. And then you've got some more kitchen items, some cleaning items.
I like the tape, but it keeps my hijab in place.
And then, of course, a sewing kit. You probably want to have close to where you do your ironing, where your ironing board is.
Of course.
Maybe even close to the maintenance of your shoes. It's kind of maintaining clothes and maintaining shoes.
Ingrid, thank you so much for coming and joining us and helping us. Are you thrilled with your objects?
I love these objects.
You're going to take them home, put them in your drawer?
This is going to go in my drawer, my man drawer.
This behind the sofa so I can keep my hijab in place.